Hey, what's going on guys, and welcome back to another episode in my Football Manager series. This is episode number 55, and today we have games against Zenit in the Champions League and also Middlesbrough in the Premier League. But before we play those games though, I'm going to show you how Swansea have been getting on off camera. So of course, in the last episode you saw our 2-1 victory against Everton in the Premier League opening day, and then I played 4 games off camera and we won 3 of those and drew 1, all of course in the Premier League. The first 3 games were victories. We beat Spurs by 1-0, then Villa by 3-2 away at Villa Park, and then a 2-1 victory against Derby. Although our last game was a 1-1 draw against West Ham away at the Olympic Stadium. Barbosa bailed us out with an 86th minute equaliser for us. But it does mean that still we are top of the table, 5 games in and still undefeated as well. 4 wins and 1 draw, 13 points. A pretty decent start to the season, and of course we want to retain the Premier League title after winning it last season. But in the last game there were 2 injuries. Benzema injured and he'll be out for a few days. But also Callum Chambers broke his foot in the game against West Ham, and he's going to be out until about January, February time. Now that's gutting, because of course don't forget Hugo Mayo's been sold to West Brom. So Karaman this season, who I did say, I was going to try and sort of bleed him into the first team. Well, he's not going to be getting bled in anymore. He's going to be thrown into the first team. I wanted to sort of bleed him in at my pace. Now he's just got to be thrown into the first team with the Chambers injury. So the 19-year-old, he is our hottest prospect. He'll be starting right back for us over the next few months, and hopefully he'll do quite well. And you never know, maybe this will be sort of the start of him becoming our first choice right back, because I do really rate him, and I think he could be an absolutely amazing player in the future. So yeah, Karaman will be our starting right back from now on, I feel. And he may well end up taking Chambers' place, not just temporarily, but also permanently as well. But no new signings, by the way, to the Swansea team. Of course, the transfer window hadn't shut in the last episode. It has now. No new signings, but we have sold 1 player. Not really too noteworthy, but Adrian's gone to MK Dons for 100 grand. And also, Robbie Harrington, our young striker, has been loaned out to Southend as well. So just worth showing. And for those wondering too, our Champions League group, of course, you knew Zenit were going to be in it. This is our group in full, and the 3 games will be... 3 teams will be facing this season. We have Bayer Leverkusen, Zenit, and Victoria Pleasant, not sure how you pronounce that, but Czech side. So a German side, a Russian side, and a Czech side. And I must say, I think that's a pretty favourable draw for us. I think we can definitely get through that, and possibly once again as group winners. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I think there's Leverkusen games, though, will be the big ones. But still, first game of the episode is against Zenit. It is the Champions League group stage. The first game, we're away in Russia. If you remember, this was the side we knocked out in the playoff last year to reach the group stage. So yeah, the first leg away in Russia was brilliant. We won it 4-2, but less said about the second leg and the tactical changes I made for that one, the better. But anyway, hopefully you guys have forgotten about that game. As we come into the first game of today's episode, and this is the team for the game. Leno starts in goal. Back for a George, Rakik, Marlon and Karaman. Redmond and Pep in the midfield central positions. Oh my god, I haven't said that wrong for ages, but Redmond and Pep, the central midfield partnership together. The attacking midfield trio is Brandt on the left, Sisto on the right, and Siggy is our attacking midfielder. Barbosa is our lone striker, and on the bench, Schmeichel, Fabiano, Gomez, Allen, Lockyer, Patino, and Wilson. Esposito just coming back from his injury, not ready to play in this one, so we'll try and play him in the next game against Middlesbrough. And also Mara's a little bit tired after the last game. But here we go then, first game of the episode we take on Zenit. Let's get the win. Come on, Swansea. I want a good start to our Champions League group stage. So first highlight of the game, it does come to us as well. Sigurdsson's corner not being dealt with, and Julian Brandt has scored his first goal since returning to Wales. How about that? Sigurdsson's corner not fully dealt with by Zenit, and I think we may have played a bit of head tennis there, because the ball's crossed into the centre by Siggy, and it was headed by Rakik, I think it was at the far post. No, it was actually Cockering, but Sisto headed on to Pep. Pep headed it on towards Brandt, and Brandt fired the ball in. So 1-0 to Swansea. The German has returned to the Welsh side and scored his first goal since coming back, and that is fantastic. And here is another highlight here as Rudy's in trouble for Zenit. His clearance only finds Redmond, who heads it on towards Pep. He finds Sigurdsson through towards Sisto, who should have scored and made it 2, but could not hit the target and fired it wide. And now a possible chance for Zenit to get back on level terms here as Shatov finds Cheryshev down this left-hand side, back towards Crisquito, and the Italian crosses, Marlon deals with it, and now a possible chance for us on the break. Sigurdsson fires it forward, and look at us storming forward here. Barbosa down the right-hand side, crosses and finds Julian Brandt. Oh, he hits the crossbar, and Ferro gets it away. Brandt almost doubling his goal tally, and ours as well, but it's still 1-0. So first highlight of the second half, and it comes to us with Karaman and Pep playing the ball between each other before our right back finds Sigurdsson back towards Sam Redmond, and Sammy Boy looking for a teammate finds Julian Brandt, who's causing problems all game long, and finds Sigurdsson, but he's denied by a very good save by Gaita, who turns it behind for a corner. So we still lead by a goal as Pep's header just inside the 6-yard box goes over, but we should be at least 2 or possibly 3 goals up with some of the chances we've had, but it is still 1-0. I want us to get a 2-goal cushion not before long. So final chance of the game, and it comes to Zenit as well, and they possibly could score, and they almost did as well. A scramble in the penalty area after a corner, and Coquerine fired it wide, but fortunately we do hang on for the 3 points and win on the first game of the Champions League group stage. So very pleased with that. It wasn't the best of performances really. I mean, we played okay, but probably could have scored 1 or 2 more goals in that one, and Zenit almost grabbed themselves a point very late on. But final score is 1-0. We get the 3 points. That's the most important thing, and bounce back after West Ham draw with a win in this one. We do get the 3 points, and I want to top this group and start off really well as well. You know, last season in the Champions League, starting off with a defeat to Juventus, a poor one as well, 5-0 I think it was. This season I want to get 2 or 3 early wins on the board and show that with a game to spare or so we could be firm favourites to qualify. So good to get the 3 points or 1-0 victory. And as we come into the second game of today's episode, we take on Middlesbrough here at the Liberty Stadium. We're sticking with a 4-2-3-1, but there are a couple of changes in personnel. Leno starts in goal, back four of George, Rakik, Marlon and Karaman. In midfield, Redmond and Pep together. And the attacking midfield trio is Sisto on the left, Mahrez on the right, and Sigurdsson as our attacking midfielder. Esposito also returns for the first time since his injury for, I believe, his first game of the season. Yeah, so hopefully he can score in this one. And Mark is returned with a goal or 2 or 3 or 4. On the bench, Michael, Fabiano, Davies, Allen, Brandt, Barbosa and Wilson. And yeah, come on Swansea, let's get another win. 2 wins from 2 in today's episode, let's do it. One thing I've noticed to start this season off is first of all the high amount of injuries to begin with, even though most players are now recovering, but also the lack of match fitness for quite a lot of players. For some strange reason, there are several players who, after missing 1 or 2 games in succession, they don't seem to regain fitness at all, which is kind of frustrating, but still, hopefully that's something that will improve over time, and I'm sure it will. But still, first chance to game could come to Borough, with Jordan Rhodes finding our former player Fred on Yedimma, and the highlight does continue with Chapman crossing the way to the centre, and Jordan Rhodes has given Middlesbrough a shock lead here in Wales just 12 minutes in, with his second of the season. The former Blackburn and Huddersfield striker has put the away side in front after Chapman's wicked ball in. Seemed to be misjudged by, well, maybe not misjudged because it was just a brilliant ball, but either way, Rhodes heads it in. And it's not the best piece of goalkeeping from Leno, pretty poor positioning, but also defensively as well, no one's sticking with him. And Rhodes heads it in. It's 1-0 to the away side. It's a long way to go, so I'm not too worried, but this was not a good start. But a chance to respond almost instantly, and we could have done as well, but Sammy Boy was denied by a great save by Declan Rudd, turning the shot behind for a corner, and it is still 1-0 to the away side. God damn you, Declan Rudd. Well, how about this for a turn up then? Half time and we trail by a goal. So assertively, I'm going to say, where is your passion? Do you even want to win this match? Most of the players are motivated, but some are not. So a very, very disappointing first half for us, trailing by a goal to a side who, with all due respect, we should be able to beat, especially being at home. And this was not a good first half, so tempted to change the tactics. In fact, I will. I'll up our mentality to attacking. And we're also going to change the instructions, try and play a bit higher tempo, and also mix the passing up a little bit. Play a little bit wider, and try and stretch the play out a little bit. We'll also take off and work the ball into the box, and we'll clear the ball to flanks as well. Just try and get the ball forward a little bit, as opposed to being neat and tidy and just regaining possessions, or retaining possession, I should say. So, trailing by a goal, second half to come. I'm confident we can get back into it, but not a good showing in the first 45 minutes. Let's at least get a point. Come on, this would be an embarrassing loss for us. And the first highlight of the second half comes pretty much instantly from the second half kicking off. And Sam Redmond once again has failed to score for us. And he shows why he's a ball-winning midfielder and not one that tends to go forward a lot. Second time he's had a good strike at goal and a good sight of it too. First time was a great save by Rudd in fairness, but the second one, I mean, he should have at least hit the target there, but instead fired it wide. So we still trail by a goal, but good to see us get the first chance in the second half. And another one could come here as well, with Esposito finding Sisto, and once again we were in, but our winger fires it wide. Come on, we're creating chances, but not applying the finishing touch. And there's another highlight here, but sadly it could come to Middlesbrough. Onyedinma on the ball, finding Clayton. Clayton turns Redmond and finds Onyedinma. And our former player could have put Middlesbrough 2-0 up, but fires the ball over the bar. Come on, we've got to at least get a point in this game. This is terrible. And here is a highlight for us just past the hour mark. Karaman on the ball, crosses to the far post. Sisto can't win the header, but it'll drop towards our left back, Georgiou. Takes it round one, takes it round two, and finds Sisto. The shot is blocked back towards Georgiou, crosses, and Mahrez's header is brilliantly saved by Declan Rudd, having a stormer. And it is still 1-0. Come on. So 18 minutes to go and we still trail by a goal. Can we get back on level terms here as George is sent down left-hand side? He finds Sisto back towards our left back in acres of space to cross. Instead gives it back towards Sisto. He finds Pep on the edge of the area. Rudd makes another great save. But finally, we found the back of the net and Riyad Mahrez has bailed us out. Declan Rudd with another good save. This time to deny Pep. And fortunately for us, Mahrez is on hand to tap in the rebound just inside the 6-yard box. My word, we've had so many shots, so many chances, but finally we have scored a goal to get us back on level terms. And now, with quarter of an hour to go, can we turn the game on its head and find a winner? And here's a corner for us later on with Sigurdsson crossing the ball into the centre. It's dealt with, but it'll come towards our goal scorer Mahrez. Back towards Siggy, crosses the ball in again, and Esposito heads the ball in and marks his return with a goal, but actually he doesn't, because it's going to go down as an own goal from Ayala. How about that? Mahrez gave it towards Sigurdsson, who crossed it into the centre. I thought Esposito got a touch on this, but evidently no, it was actually a header from Ayala into his own goal. And how about that? We turn the game on its head late on and look as though we will claim the 3 points. But, wow, we made this really hard work for ourselves. And there's 30 seconds left of stoppage time to play. We still lead by a goal. And it looks as though we are going to get the 3 points here and could possibly put the icing on the cake. But Mahrez's shot goes wide of the post. But that will surely do it. So final score, Swansea 2, Middlesbrough 1. I mean, we got there in the end. We just about managed to avoid embarrassment, turning the game on its head and grabbing the 3 points. But I mean, we made that really hard work. You know, that should not have been too tough of a game at home to Borough there. We should have got that win. Instead, as you can see, I'm going to say we got away with that. We were poor out there. And as you can see, we're motivated and fired up almost every player that was on the pitch at some point. So Swansea 2, Borough 1, we get the win and stay top of the table. But again, a little disappointing how we needed an own goal to win us that game late on. So final score 2-1, 2 wins from 2 in today's episode. And despite them not being the best performances, we'll certainly take the wins and be happy with them. And also one thing to show you as well, you probably would have noticed it during that game, but I forgot all about it, to be honest, and forgot that I never actually ended up mentioning it to you. But our stadium is being expanded right now. The stand, which is where the dugouts are, is currently being reduced, as you can see, by 1,660 seats. And we're getting an extra 5,000, seats in that stand. So our capacity is going to go up to about 24,000 in the end. And that's why you would have noticed that that stand behind the dugout was under construction. But anyway, that will end today's episode in my Football Manager series, guys. So big thank you for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed it. I shall return with games against, oh, that's a good one there, a good double there, United and Leverkusen in the Premier League and the Champions League. Of course, United last season came second. I think they did, didn't they? I mean, they chased us most of the way, so I think they came second, didn't they? Yes, they did. Wow, brilliant. Great to break up the commentary there. We'll take on United away at Old Trafford, who are in second right now as well. And then we'll take on Leverkusen in the third game of the Champions League group stage for what should be 2 very exciting games in a very interesting double. So thanks for watching today's episode, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please leave a like. Much love to you all, and I hope you guys have had an absolutely fantastic weekend. And I'll see you for the next episode in my Football Manager series very soon.